Okay, this is going to be kind of a wacky little segment I'm going to do here, but it's powerful, and I'm going to share it with you why. You know, sometimes making small changes in life, some really tiny changes, seemingly insignificant changes, can have a profound effect on your existence. It really can. And I'm going to give you two examples today. Hi, I'm David Essel. So years and years and years ago, I was interviewing for a hospital position, my first one out of college, and I flew from Syracuse, New York, where I grew up and went to school, down to Florida to go into this hospital to do this interview. And I had no money whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I think I flew into Gainesville and took a bus from Gainesville, and I was just a broke college kid trying to get my first big gig, you know, my first job, my first corporate job, my first and last one, by the way. But anyway, I got the bus, I get down to a hotel, and I had, you know, like I said, no money, so I had this old suit and old shirt and tie. But I remember reading somewhere that make sure that the shirt is pressed when you go into a meeting and that your shoes are shined. So as I got into this little motel, this little ratty motel, I found right across the street was a dry cleaner. So I took my shirt out of my bag and had it dry cleaned. And it probably cost about $1 back then. And then I found a place to get my shoes shined. Went into the meeting, and I remember I was never more petrified in my whole life because there was my boss-to-be, plus, I don't know, about 10 or other people in a circle. I didn't know we were going to do this, you know, like this was intense stuff. And at lunch, we were supposed to be eating. I didn't eat a thing. They went around and asked questions. And at the end of it, I went in and sat down with my boss, and we talked afterwards, and we did another lengthy interview with him. So I went back to Syracuse, and within a week or two, I got a notice I was hired, you know, which blew my mind. So I came back down to Florida and went in the very first day. My boss brings me in and sits me down, and he goes, well, you know, that was a pretty good thing that you did at that roundtable interview. And he said, I also want to tell you, I was very impressed. He said, I was impressed that your shirt was pressed. I see you don't have much money. And I said, that's the truth, you know. And he said, but more important than that, I was impressed with your shoes being shined. And I said, really? He goes, you know what? This is what I know to be true. If someone is taking care of even their old clothing, if they're taking care of it, if they're that fastidious, if they're that careful, I know they're going to be treating things that are new with a lot of care as well. So this is how I make that analogy, David, is that if you're willing to take care of these old ratty shoes that you're wearing but have them polished, that you'll do the same thing with my employees, and you're going to be in charge of a lot of them. I was blown away. It was like my first incredible introduction to how important it is that we truly take care of what we have right now, even if it isn't perfect. So when we're talking about if you don't have a lot of money, but you have clothes that are pressed, clothes that are absolutely have to be clean, ties that are pressed, if you don't have a lot of money, but what you have is taken care of, people will feel an energy coming from you. Shoes, incredibly important, no matter how old they are. You know, and a lot of you maybe are watching this right now and you're past that time of struggling, but it still makes sense to pay attention to this today. It can really make a big difference in your life. Now let me give you the flip side. I remember working a number of years ago with a very, very, very wealthy man. He was a client of mine. As a life coach client, he came in and he had some issues that he was working on, and so I walked him out to he had this incredibly expensive car, and I walked him out to his car, and I saw this car was just filthy dirty, and I know he has the money to hire someone to wax it and wash it every day, and I know he was going through a lot of stress in life. So the next time he came in, we were talking about dealing with stress, and I said something about, I said, well, how do you keep your car? And he goes, what are you talking about? I said, well, do you keep your car clean? Because the car, inside and out, is a reflection of your internal workings. And he looked at me, he goes, I don't know, I haven't even paid attention to my car. He said, I drive, and he told me what it was. It was like a $180,000 car. And he said, you know, I drive this. And he goes, I'm sure it's fine. So I said, well, good. Well, just make sure it is. When you come in next week, let's talk. So he came in the next week, and he sat down. He said, you know what? He said, my life is such a mess internally that my car is absolutely trashed. He said, it looks like I don't even respect it at all. So I gave him this task. I said, look, we're working together for the next 6 weeks. Every 6 weeks, make sure the car is cleaned inside and out. It'd be best if you did it yourself, quite frankly. Even though you can afford whatever you can afford, it'd be best for you to do it. Now listen to this. Over the next 6 weeks, this guy woke up every day and took a cloth and wiped down his car. Once a weekend, he would clean it out, inside and out, himself. And over those 6 weeks, he said it was probably one of the most important exercises he had ever done in taking care of himself, because when he was putting that effort into his car, both the inside and the outside of his car, he was paying attention to his world. As he said, you know, David, you always talk about living in the moment. That made me live in the moment. When I got up in the morning and brushed off my car and wiped it down every morning, it took me 2 minutes before work. It gave me a greater appreciation. It slowed me down. It made me to be in the present moment, to take care of what I have. Now, I've done that same exercise with people that don't have $180,000 cars with the same end result. Here's the message today. Take care of what you have now in order to get something greater in the future. If we don't take care of what we have right now, our mind, our body, our finances, our cars, and our shoes, we can't expect to be drawing something better in the future. If I can help you in any way, simple changes, huge changes, dramatic changes, whatever you're facing in life, let me know. Contact me at talkdavid.com. Sometimes these fun, simple things have profound effects, as they have in these 2 stories I gave you today. Share this video with as many people that it could help. Okay? And don't forget to sign up under Super Slowdown right here at YouTube, so every one that we put out, every new video, goes right to your account. Have a great day. I'm David Essel.